Do you think websites will even exist in 5 years?
Well, yes and no. In a lot of ways, they will exist, but they would not be as heavily used as they are today. When we were small, we didn't care about the servers and all. But when we onboarded one large company, we had two servers. They went down. They came crashing down one night. We had to re-architect the whole system.
You think like was it all a bed of roses or were there thorns? If yes, then what were those thorns and what did they teach you?
Man, Rachit, I cannot remember any time there was bed of roses at any point in time.
Right.
It was all thorns, man. It was a hard journey.
Right.
We have agents. When we create agents, we deploy them on our customer's website. And what these agents do is, when a visitor lands on that vendor's website, they track the behavior. They try to understand what the visitor really wants.
Hello,
They see what.
everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Chinet. Today, we're talking to someone who's rewriting the rules of B2B sales with AI. Today, we'll meet Parminder Singh. He started as the mobile guy at Flipkart back in 2012, building their eBooks and music apps. Fast forward to today, he's the founder of RedScope AI, where he's running a three-person company that competes with funded startups just by using AI agents to for sales, marketing, ops, all of it.
Hi, Rachit. Thanks for having me. Excited to talk to you today.
Likewise. So, can you start with a brief introduction about yourself and then about what you're doing with RedScope today?
Sure. Well, I started my career in 2009 in Bangalore. That was a small startup called Tachyon Technologies. We did AI and ML back in the day when it was not even a cool phrase. Then I moved on to this fledgling small company startup called Flipkart.com, which is a behemoth in India today, right? So it was so at Flipkart we created very interesting products. Two of them, two products. One is called Flight MP3, which is a music streaming service, sort of Spotify competitor, and the other is eBooks. eBooks for Indian market, your Kindle competitor. Amazon has a Kindle app, right? So it's that competitor. And so that was a good run. We had our products were downloaded by millions of Indians over a few years, and after that, I started this company called WiseChalk.com. It was ACT test prep company. ACT is American College Testing. A lot of Americans take that test before they join colleges, and we were trying to help people prepare for those tests. So we started that, helped a lot of people there. And then Varun was my co-founder. We started this company called Hansel.io in 2015, 2016. Hansel, we had by end of 2018, we had almost all the large companies in India using our product. Talk about Tokopedia, Make My Trip, Ola, Yatra, Paytm. They were all our customers. And then I landed here in the US. We thought we'll expand Hansel here. Landed here in the US in 2019. And within a year of getting here, we got acquired by netcorecloud.com. After that, I played PlayStation for a couple of years. It was good fun while it lasted. And then I joined Scalar to establish their US site, US operations. Ran that for a couple of years, and now I am here building my company, RedScope AI, as you've introduced. So RedScope, Rachit, is with RedScope, our vision is to make websites agentic. Um, think about it. Why do people need websites? It's we take it for granted today, but if you think about it, the answer you'll get it. Most people need website because they want conversions. They want people to book demos. They want people to sign up for their product. They want all of that, and they put in a lot of effort to make that happen today. All the marketeers do that. With RedScope, we are trying to make websites agentic in a way that they do all of these conversions for you without you having to lift a finger. So we're building that kind of a product for the market. So that's what our vision is, to make websites agentic.
Amazing, amazing. That's a very interesting vision. So, what do you think websites will even exist in 5 years?
Well, yes and no. In a lot of ways, they will exist, but they would not be as heavily used as they are today. In fact, the way you use website will change a lot. So you see how the behavior patterns of people are emerging, right? We used to search on Google a lot back in the day. Today, a lot of those searches are happening inside these chat GPTs and Geminis of the world, right? So a lot of the research, etc., that people do when they want to buy things is going to happen in these LLM platforms. But when you actually nail it down, when you actually zero down on a few products that you're interested in, you are definitely going to navigate and log on to the websites that you're interested in. You're going to read more about their content in depth on their website. So definitely, it's going to be there. It's going to be around, but the usage is going to change a lot over time. So that's our thesis there. And also, websites are not going to remain the same as they are today. A lot of things are going to change under the cover. So today, if you look at agents, the way they search websites is websites are now getting trained to behave differently for agents versus how they behave for humans, right? So for people who are listening to the podcast, for people who are developers and techies, it's a different protocol that the LLMs follow to read a website. So to the LLMs, a website looks very different. It has a markdown format and things like that. Whereas to humans, we look at it in HTML format and sorts, right? So there are a lot of new things that websites are going to do, some of which we are directly going to see as human beings, and some of that is going to happen below a layer where it's not visible to naked eye. So, right.
Amazing. Yeah, I think that's fair. And yeah, like websites will exist, but what we call a website today might not be what we call a website. When did you actually realize that that AI is reshaping the world, and this is something which I want to do?
Right, right. No, I think it's been a phenomenal journey at Hansel. Yeah. Like my co-founder and I, we went through a lot of pivots to begin with. Right, I don't know of any company who hasn't pivoted, honestly. Like whether it be a major pivot or a minor pivot, right? We all pivot, trying to find out the right problem statement and in search of right solutions to those problems. And our case with me and Varun and I was no different. We started Hansel on a very different note, Rachit. We started Hansel as a developer tool which would help people fix mobile apps on the fly. One person I know described it very aptly as fixing airplanes while they're flying, right? So that's how they described it very aptly. So we started there. In fact, we started with a very different thing even before that, which might not make a lot of sense in today's world. But we started with a very different proposition, moved on to developer tooling, and when the landscape below us started shifting, then we pivoted to what the final avatar of Hansel was, um, which was a product for product managers to iterate on the apps without needing help from developers, without needing a lot of engineering bandwidth. I'll tell you one interesting experience. When we were small, we didn't care about the servers and all, but when we onboarded one large company, we had two servers. They went down. They came crashing down one night. We had to re-architect the whole system. And what happened is, to your other question, right? Like,
Hmm.
when did we realize that AI was going to be a big wave?
Right.
I don't think we realized it in this way. In fact, when we were building Hansel, we were deep in building mobile products. We were building SDKs. We were building personalization platforms. We were building runtime feature control. We were doing things to automate a product manager's job, but we didn't call it AI then. I'll give you an example. We were automating the segmentation algorithms, which a lot of product managers would do manually. We were evolving the apps and recommending the upgrades in the app to the product managers, right? The adapt. We were dynamically recommending the updations in the app. We didn't call it AI. It was only when we started, like I said, when we started onboarding these large customers, a lot of data started coming in. We
Right.
started ingesting, servers started ingesting a lot of data. The systems started predicting and doing things in a way I've never seen them do. This became super intelligent. And that's when I realized, I'm like, okay, the next wave of software is not going to be built around AI. It's going to be AI. That's the AI is
Right.
going to be the next set of software. I didn't know it would be in this form that it is today. It's
Right.
hard to predict uh, exactly what way it's going to be, but you could see that. I could see that in our systems in 2019 that things are going to go down this direction.
You're such a diverse and such a long journey. I'm sure there have been failures and mistakes, right? And a lot of people are scared of failures, a lot of people are scared of mistakes, but from what I can understand from my own journey, that failures are something which actually teach us, and mistakes are something which actually help us. So tell us a bit about Hansel. Do you think, like, was it all a bed of roses, or were there thorns? If yes, then what were those thorns and what did they teach you?
Man, Rachit, I cannot remember any time there was bed of roses at any point in time.
Right.
It was all thorns, man. It was a hard journey,
Right.
right? I think we have made a lot of mistakes. I would be insincere if I tell you that it's always been fun. It's always been up, up to the right. The graph was always up to the right. It's never the case. Never. Not with a single not with any startup, right? We had our fair share of learnings. We made our mistake. And I would also be dishonest if I tell you that I'm not scared. Even I'm scared. The only question is, how do you react to that feeling
Right.
is what matters. We're human beings at the end of the day. That's built into our biology,
Yes.
right? Being scared. I don't think anyone who's not scared. So I think the way you react to it, the way you figure out that emotion, that this is an emotion of you being scared, and what you do about it is what will help you alleviate a lot of those fears. In terms of mistakes, absolutely, man, we made a lot of mistakes. I'll tell you the first thing, and it's not just us. I still make those mistakes a lot of times, still fall into those traps. The first thing I remember, our largest mistake was in the beginning: build, and don't
Mm,
sell. Man, don't fall into that
right.
pitfall. Don't build. Just go sell. One of the arguments I get from people is, "Hey, Parminder, if I don't build, how can I validate? How would I really know whether someone needs it?" Trust me, folks, you can still sell if you haven't built a thing. Maybe mocks, maybe images. You can still sell things. You can still sell workflows. When I say sell, it doesn't mean you come back with a check. It means that they give you an authorization to work with them. They give you an acceptance, like, yes, let's work. Once you have a
Right.
working piece of software, this looks, oh, the workflows look okay. We would love to work with you further on that, right? So go sell first and then start building software. And if you argue and insist that there are certain things which you definitely need to build, yeah, sure, okay, that's called MVP in our space. Build an MVP, go to the market. Minimal is the keyword here, just
Right.
minimal, that's a key. Yeah, do that really quickly. Usually takes weeks, probably not even that, to do that. It's a crappy piece of software. Just build that, go out. It breaks, that's okay. See whether it works. People want to buy it. If they do, come back, iterate on that. And this is a cycle you have to follow until you have something really valuable in your hands.
Right.
So I still make that mistake at times. I have to remind myself, don't build, go sell. Like, it still happens. It's so ingrained in human
Right.
mind.
Especially, I
So
think,
that's one.
us, the developers, right? Because we find it,
Oh,
it's very
absolutely.
comfortable for us to sit
Absolutely.
on our laptops and just keep building, and think that,
Pushing
okay,
pairs.
this is how it's going to be. Let's improve the architecture, let's improve the UX,
Absolutely.
let's add a chat interface, let's add a
Absolutely.
voice interface. Yeah.
Absolutely.
In your experience, what are five things that you think can kill a startup? 2 words.
Manager, I could tell you 20 things that could kill a startup, right? Not five. But I think the most important one that I've seen, and this recently happened, by the way, in my life. One of my co-founder friends, sorry, not my co-founder, I mean, one of my founder friends went through this. Co-founder conflicts is
Hmm.
the classic killer. That's something that kills more startups than you would imagine, right? So one of my friends, he recently raised, around this last year, they raised from a very large investment company. Um, and they had a very bad co-founder conflict. And these are the kind of things that not just take you down as a co-founder, they take down the morale of the entire company. Because believe it or not, these things will come out in open at some point in time, right? So they take you down. So really need to have some sort of a framework to resolve these conflicts. And
Right.
it's not like you will never going to have conflicts. Doesn't matter how good of a friend you have as a co-founder, you are definitely going to have conflict. I still have my co-founder is my co-founder from like last 10 years, my current co-founder, but we still have conflicts. So that's one. And other thing I'm going to recommend to people is, because this can really kill your company like nothing else can, try to see if you can have a friend as a co-founder. You worked with them probably in the past. You have a lot of rapport built with them, or at max someone who's in the second degree connect. Don't go beyond that. It's really hard to make anything work beyond that. So that's one. um, I think the other thing that could take you down is, I think I mentioned that earlier. I couldn't emphasize enough, but build. That's going to take you down like nothing else. Okay, don't do that. Um, Another important thing which leads to failures is cash crunch. But I think cash crunch is not a problem that happens in isolation. It is a result of a lot of these factors. um, like for example, maybe you have a cash crunch because you didn't raise enough, because you could not sell your vision to the investors. Or maybe there's a cash crunch because you did not land enough revenue, because you could not sell your product.
Right.
Because and that could happen, like in turn that could happen because you're not solving the right problem that the customer cares about, right? So cash crunch is a factor of a lot of other things. It's not really an independent item in this list. But I think those are some of the top killers I've seen
Hmm.
in companies, Rachit, right? So yeah, there are a lot more. I mean, you
Right.
could go down that list
Right.
and talk about 50 more things, but
Correct.
I think these are the important parts
Amazing. Yeah. So I
when
think
you think about it.
fair enough. Like co-founder conflict, cash crunch, and of course building too much. I think yeah, that's a very
Never
those are
helps.
I think yeah, those are 3 points which I totally agree to. That's very important. And as you said, even my co-founder has been we've been working together for more than a decade now. It's been 11 years since me
Mhm.
and Surya, my
Yeah.
co-founder, have been working, and we have a lot of conflicts. And the only thing is that
Yeah.
there's no ego, there's no it eventually
Yeah.
gets resolved, and because both of us want the
Right.
same thing, right? So I think this is in general, I think SEO AI has been really helping SEO, right? In for like or GEO as we want to
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
put it up on the screen for anyone who's wondering. But
Sure.
that's that's entrepreneurship, right? And actually, I have a question
Mhm.
from Neha, which is very
Mhm.
similar to this.
Mhm.
I would not still say that it's similar, but Neha had asked a couple of minutes ago that if there are two
Mhm.
products we're working on, is it okay to
Mhm.
keep trying for those two, or should we just focus on one?
Okay. Yeah, I'm assuming, and this assumption might be wrong. My assumption is you're probably trying to do this for the first time, right? So you're a first time founder. And if that's the case, my recommendation to you would be, even otherwise, if that's not the case, my recommendation to you would be don't do that. Now, the reason is, I mean, you might think like that probably goes against what we are doing already, right? That's probably a contradiction to what I just said. But see, my point is, we did not do it intentionally. This is not what we set out to do. It just happened. It was very organic the way it worked out. We started building something internally, and it was so
Right,
amazing that we wanted to. We thought, I mean, people could benefit, so we just launched it. And
right,
till date, we are not actively selling that product. By the way, we're not selling
correct,
Lazy Squid. It's just that we're getting inbounds, and we are onboarding customers as they come, but we're not very
right.
actively selling it. Although we have signed enterprise deals, my recommend because that happened organically, it's
Hmm.
working for us. But if I were to go back and advise my younger self, I would say do not do that. It takes a lot of time and effort and experimentation and iteration to figure out something. Uh, you have to really go deep, Neha, to figure out these. So my recommendation to you would be, if you want to be successful, if you want to increase your chances of success, it might seem like working on two products at a time might increase your probability of success.
Right.
But don't do that. It actually doesn't work out that way. It requires your wholehearted effort. And that's why I say, if you really want to do entrepreneurship, don't do it along with a job. You have to jump into it and do it full time. Otherwise, it just
Of
doesn't work.
course. Of
So
course.
that's going to be my advice to you as well. Do not work on two products at a time.
Right.
Focus on one, whatever you like out of those, and whatever you think has the most potential. You work on that and let go of the other one. It's
Hmm.
hard. I know it's hard letting go of the other one, but you have to do that for your
Right.
sake.
Right, right. For success,
You'll
you
do
need
that.
to be,
Yeah,
for as you said in the beginning, right?
yeah,
Focus is something
yeah,
which is very, very
yeah,
important.
yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Parminder. You've shared some very interesting insights for our listeners. You've about fundraising, about starting up, and of course about I think where the future of AI agents in the workspace goes, and also what RedScope is doing. That's also very innovative. I'm not seeing a lot of startups who are trying to focus on this side of the area. There are a lot who are doing sales agents. There are a lot who are doing your marketing agents, all of those things. But yeah, but this is I think very unique, and I hope that you're very successful. There are a lot of more questions which I have in mind, but yeah, unfortunately we're limited with time, but would love to host you once more in a couple of months, and then
Sure.
talk more
Yeah.
of on your journey, what the next few months will be for you. And yeah, thank you so much once more. And for all our listeners, that was Parminder Singh. He's the co-founder of RedScope AI, and you guys can connect with him on LinkedIn and follow him for a lot of interesting advice which he keeps posting on LinkedIn.